So I'm coming on here because I want to talk K-Pop Demonhunters and this entire movie and how beautiful of a metaphor it is for the healing journey, for the spiritual journey, and for really what is going on in our mind. And, you know, on the surface level, so many parents can look at it and be like, oh, it's talking about demons and it's talking, this is a completely different take. When I watch something, I watch it from a very spiritual perspective, from an awakened perspective, right? I'm not seeing what's on the surface and what the movie's just showing. I honestly can't help to anymore. And so I felt like I should share that here. And I want to share it with you, 333, as I say that. And so I'll introduce myself. I'm Steph, and this is Spirit-Led Steph. And so I just felt the urge to come on here and talk about looking at K-Pop Demonhunters with spirit vision, right? With Jesus, if we're looking at it from the perspective of A Course in Miracles and the teachings, the metaphysical teachings that are there, and how we're learning about the ego and we're learning about truth and love and the spirit, right? These two minds, the sleeping mind and the awakened mind. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of parents didn't allow their kids to watch it, if they're seeing it from the perspective of like spirits and demons and evil, right? And like that warfare, being your soul being taken and good versus bad, right? Kind of thing. And I think the beauty of the movie is that it's trying to break that division, which is really ultimately what healing is, bringing forth the shame and the guilt and allowing it to be seen. Literally, I mean, there's so many parts of this movie I want to talk about, and specifically some songs that are just so rich in healing content and just like messages of inner growth and inner work and stepping into authenticity and showing up as you are and allowing yourself to be loved the way you are, not hiding. So there's all these beautiful messages, and then also breaking down the wall of like bad versus good. Because ultimately, if we're really thinking about the greater plan, if we're thinking about God and how spirit works, we don't ultimately know what things are for. We don't know, and we judge them as if they're good or bad because of how they make us feel or what happens. But in the greater plan, it's all working out for us. It's always working out for us. And the deeper we go on the journey, the more we discover that we're not victim to what's happening, that we're very much a creator and of what's happening, but not so much in like the, oh, I manifest what I want kind of thing, but more like my belief systems, my interpretations, and my perception of everything, how I see myself, is how I see the world. And from there, I am going to interpret and interact with the world based on those beliefs. Does that make sense? And so K-Pop Demonhunters is a beautiful metaphor in general because, for example, let's start with demons. The demons are guys or girls, like just people who are like from the underworld in a way, right? And they're carrying, and what identifies them is that they're carrying patterns. They are like tatted up with patterns. And what a beautiful analogy, right? What a beautiful symbol of the patterns of the ego that we carry, the patterns of shame, the patterns of guilt, the patterns of unworthiness, all that, right? Defensiveness, which all come from the idea of separation. They're all rooted in the idea that we are not one, that we are separate, not only from ourselves, but from God, from our source, right? That we are bad, that we have sinned, right? So this is the idea. There is shame, and you know, if you are a demon, what makes you a demon is the shame that you carry, because this energy that you're believing in, which is like, it becomes a voice in your head that, I forget what Guima, I think it's called. It's just like this big energy that's like basically hypnotizing in the mind of the demons. They become demons because they've believed this energy. They've fallen prey to the doubts, to the voice in that mind that tells them they're not good enough, that they did it wrong, that what they did was terrible, that they could never make up for it, that they should be ashamed, that there's no way out, that they're all alone. Story goes on and on and on, right? And so how interesting that that's what makes them demons, and then they carry patterns, right? So stick with me. And if we look at these demons, quote unquote, as the false thoughts, right? As the thoughts of the ego in the mind, or even just as people who have fallen prey to that side, to the unawakened part of love, right? Not fully awakened to love, to the state of love, not like love between humans and people, right? Not the love that we're seeking in another because we don't have it in ourselves. Not that, but like just the love of God, which is a part of who we are. That's the light of truth. And so when we aren't connected to that, or we haven't awakened to that yet, we live a life based on the rules of the world, the laws of life that we think are the laws we're a victim to, right? And we believe our mind, we believe our thoughts. And so isn't it interesting that that's what the demons are, right? That's what the demons are. And then you have the three girls who are the demon hunters, and they are singers, and they use their voice to express and sing in harmony to sort of create this web and honmun, protective seal that runs through the fabric of all, sort of like all life from these demonic forces, right? Energies, thoughts, let's keep going there. So if we look at them from that perspective, right, we can really see how interesting demons are, that they can either be the aspect of us that still believes in the ego, that still is chained, or even just like one who has not released the patterns, one who has not healed their shame, one who still thinks it's impossible. They are victim to all those beliefs. And so they're trapped. And that's what's happening, right? It's not their body that's trapped. It's their mind that has not received the truth, the light of who they are, right? It hasn't reached them yet. And so then the singers, one of them is half demon, right? And she's trying to hide because she's a demon hunter. And yet she's half demon because of the story of her parents. And so there's like this shame and hiding and masking. And so these beautiful girls, they're being taught that they can't express, that they have to be strong and hold it down and like not feel it to heal it. Basically, it's basically hold it in and don't let yourself be seen, because you are seen as weak. And that ultimately crumbles. That belief system crumbles for them. They think that that's what's giving them power and that that's going to hold them against, let's say, demonic forces. But truly, love doesn't work like that. It doesn't fight. It doesn't fight. I'm sweating here, man. It doesn't fight against the ego. It doesn't fight against, it doesn't hide. It reveals itself completely. And so the whole story is to say that she is Rumi, the main singer. She's hiding it. And they have a song called Golden. And it says, no more hiding, I'm still dying like I'm born to be. 'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, yeah. I know, I believe. And that's like, we're going up, up, up. This is our moment, gonna be golden. And so, together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. And it's like the more together they are, the more in harmony they are, the more in truth they are. This energy of truth, this light, right, expands and elevates. And But there's this one part where they have another song called Free, and it's saying, I'm trying to remember the lyric, but it's talking about like we have to be able to look at it, we have to face it before we can heal it. We have to face it to heal it. We can't just hide away from it anymore. And it's her and a demon, right, who is now becoming sort of like a friend. And now she sees herself in this person and is like, wow. So it's an opportunity for that shame to come up for both of them. And they connect. And they want to be free. They want to be free of this idea that shame is going to drive them. And so it's kind of like beginning to reveal and heal all these ideas. And they're breaking the concepts of it being the good versus the bad. Because she's realizing, my demon side is not, it's not that it's my bad side, it's just, it's a side of myself I haven't fully accepted and integrated and allowed myself to talk about, right? And just be. And then there's the last song, that's what it feels like. So this is what it sounds like when she finally comes forward, and she can't hide it anymore because of a series of events that reveal that she is truly part demon, and the girls get to know that, and they all turn on each other, and it gets ugly before it gets good. And that's happens many times in our story, right? But yeah, ultimately, this is what it sounds like. So we were cowards, so we were liars. We're still we're still survivors, the dreamers, the fighters. I'm lying, no more lying, I'm tired. So dive in the fire and we'll be right here by your side. It's like, we got this together, and we're doing it together. And that is what healing is. It's like coming into true union with your brothers and sisters, allowing yourself to be seen the most authentic, and allowing no longer being afraid, because when you let fear drive you, you will always be chained. And it's just a beautiful movie. I recommend that you see it, and if you can see it from this perspective, it'll lose that heaviness of it being like demons versus, these girls and pop stars, and forget all that surface stuff. Look at the underlying message, the mystical message that is trying to be shown here of true healing and true becoming and accepting of who we are, and releasing the darkness so that it can be seen, and realizing how negative thoughts and how doubt and fear, they can become hypnotizing, and we can get into the darkest hole and then lose our true selves in it by following these beliefs and lack and loss and separation and destruction and, loneliness, all of this, which is crap. But if we believe it, we have the power to believe it or not believe it. And the way we still have to be truthful to it showing up. So we have to face it so that it can be released. Just like that part in the song that's called Free. And it's so beautiful. So that's my take. Go check out the movie. It is a healing movie. It is a movie about authenticity. It's the spiritual journey. And if we're willing to see all these little clues and how they are symbols of what's really going on for us in the mind, and really the demons are just an example of when we are caught up in the mind of the ego, in the mind of separation, in the illusion, we can end up not physically there. There's no actual place like that. It's all here. And then the opposite is that what Rumi was an example of, when we start showing our true self and what is our wound and what's showing up for us and what we're afraid of, and we reveal it, we begin to allow the light to pour in and see how loved and supported we are. Because that's what authenticity does. That's what honesty and integrity does. It just shines a light so stark, so poignant through the darkness that everybody can feel it, because we all are connected to it. And so we remind each other of it when we are in the state of light and love. We can recognize it. It is who we are. So go enjoy K-Pop Demon Hunters from this perspective. If you haven't seen it, I invite you to see it again. And let me know in the comments what you think about it, what it showed for you, what it brought up for you. And listen to these healing, beautiful songs, just great songwriting overall that really show us, the way back to true love, the way back home to who we really are in God, in ourselves. Enjoy. Go check it out. Love you all.